Good piecewise function for a real piece of crap.
Spoiler warning, we're going to talk about the entire plot of this book.
Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas.
It's going to be ruined completely if you have not read it yet. Are we at the drinking part?
Oh, sweet.
This is the best part. We're at the drink talk learn portion of this podcast. We're going to learn some stuff.
Okay, my drink talk learn today is characters as equations, the rise and fall of each function of development. So we're basically going to be going over functions and equations and graphs.
You already lost me.
So put your nerd glasses on. So Elena in this book in particular, the duration of this graph is over Crown of Midnight. I think she is basically the graph of sine of x because, so down here at the bottom, you've got Throne of Glass from the past book, obviously. She is making her way back up to the original assassin, I feel like that she was before she went to the camps. And she kind of just feels lost throughout this book, right? She's like kind of going at peaks and valleys. And you just see a lot of her like internal struggle throughout the book, I think. So the King's Champion, plan number 1, is one of her first peaks. And that, in my mind, is when she is basically kind of in her groove. She's assassinating people, but actually she's just helping them escape. So she's kind of like in a little bit of a high there. Then I have one of her first lows is, her and Nehemia, their first fight, and the way it ends is basically Nehemia calls her a coward. And then a peak of the story, I think, in her mind, obviously, is like the progress that she has with Kale. So they kind of start a relationship. And she's starting to progress with Archer and like the rebel group as well and figure out, she thinks she's kind of figuring out what they're about. Obviously, a huge hit to her is Nehemia's death. So that is pretty much a big turning point in the book and a big negative point. Even after Nehemia's death, I feel like she's fighting with her like motivation and purpose, and sometimes she'll get really determined and be like her true assassin self. And then the next moment she feels like, totally down. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not meant to do this. And why can't someone else just be the chosen one? And then the way that this book ends, she's kind of leaving to find her destiny, I feel like. So she's kind of on the up, and we don't really know where her graph goes after this book. Will it stay sine, or will she become a different type of graph? We don't know.
It's like everyone's life. I mean, it's like we can all see ourselves in that, I think.
Death by screech.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That was great.
Next up, Dorian. I feel like Dorian is a logarithmic graph because he was born with no hope for being a good person, okay? You think that he's not going to be a good character at all or have like a moral compass, but he does. And also when we started the first book with him, Throne of Glass, we found out that he was kind of like a womanizer. He wasn't that into his role. He didn't want to be king. And he was kind of just like lost as well, I feel like. And then throughout this book, I just feel like every time you see Dorian, he continues to develop himself and improve himself, and he just becomes a better character. Even when he's friend zoned, like he's such a good friend, I feel like, to Elena, and is just becoming like a more understanding person. And he's also coming into his element of realizing, I think he realized how evil his dad was, but he's actually like starting to stand up to his dad more in this book. And he also finds out that he has magic in this book. And, so he's just like, I feel like he's developing into a really a really good character. It's not super extreme. It's not like an exponential graph, but he's slowly, I think, coming into his character, and he has a good character arc so far.
But he is plateauing. He's not ever going to get past 1.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. His graph could change.
Squawk! Squawking's hard.
Kale. So
Oh my
Kale's
God.
graph. Kale is the most complicated character because he makes no sense to me at all. But anyway, his first graph, obviously, the equation there, sine of x squared plus 1/2. Basically, I didn't want him to start at 0 because I feel like coming into this book, Selena trusts him and they are friends. So he's not at 0 when the book starts. But obviously, they grow closer. They're in a relationship. Their relationship starts at Kale's birthday. So that's why I have this peak is kind of like Kale's birthday through when Selena saves his ass, basically. That's like prime time for Kale in this book, I feel like. And then we have Nahinia's death, which is when Selena literally tries to kill him because she hates him so much. So he obviously goes into the negatives at that point. Huge downfall for Kale. And I feel like Selena eventually just kind of is like, it is what it is. Eventually she doesn't want to kill him anymore, basically is what I'm trying to say. And when that happens, Kale eventually just turns to a graph of 0, which is that, he's just consistently not really negative, not really positive. That's just the way he is the rest of the book. So,
A good baseline.
yes.
Good piecewise function for a real piece of crap.
Okay, all right.
So, in conclusion, Kale still sucks. And will there be redemption for him? I don't know. Do we want redemption? I also don't know.
Well, Kale's always going to be my hero.
And that's my drink talk card.
I loved it. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Took me back to my math days.
Math is cool, people. Take calculus.
I literally had my graphing calculator out, like playing with it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a TI-84? TI-84 plus?
This is TI-83 plus.
Oh, God.
This is when it gets good.
So for our 4 followers, if you're also reading along and you have a DTL, send it to us.
And check out our Instagram, which I will type here. At the bookends.
And check out our podcast wherever you get your local podcasts from.
And keep watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.